in the heart of the podcast air. Steve or Jason showing flair. Fantasy tips they always share. For the elite who really care. Shout out to the guests who come along. Strategies that make us strong. Plotting moves that can't go wrong. In this community we belong. Elite FPL, the lights they glow. Through the ranks we start to flow. With every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go. We analyze, we create. Every game week we debate. From the captain to the late. Moves that make us celebrate. Points and transfers we all crave. Following leads to the brave. In this league it's more than a game. Fantasy football's true aim. Fantasy football's true aim. Elite FPL, the lights they glow. Through the ranks we start to flow. With every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. We analyze, we create. Every game week we debate. From the captain to the late. Moves that make us celebrate. Points and transfers we all crave. Following leads to the brave. In this league it's more than a game. Fantasy football's true aim. Elite FPL, the lights they glow. Through the ranks we start to flow. With every tip the game we know. Elite FPL, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go. Elite FPL, let's go, let's go.
Good evening and welcome to another Elite FPL live stream with myself, Jason, who's doing awful at the game, and Steve-O, who's doing slightly less awful at the game, and then a special guest at the bottom of the screen. Some of you may not know him by face. We've got his beautiful looks here on webcam, but you may definitely know him by his handle. And we've got Nick. I was going to call you Trick. We've got Nick TRIGGERLIPS, as many people affectionately know him as. Welcome, Nick.
Hi there.
Hold a minute. I just realised, Nick, I'm the highest ranked manager on this stream today. Woo!
Yeah, get yourself a win stream.
Despite you slagging me off on your videos, there we are.
So here we are. We're here to talk about Game Week 10. Is that right? Am I right in Game Week 10?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually right about something. There we go. Without even loading anything up. Game Week 10 is on its way. And obviously some people have made moves. Some people haven't. Some people have taken hits. Some people haven't. Certainly, I think people are expecting a much more improved Game Week after the disappointment of last week. There's been a couple of injuries or injury scares certainly to discuss, but certainly I'm looking forward to previewing the fixtures going into Game Week 10, along with getting Nick's ideas and thoughts Also some real life discussion as well, I'm sure. Steve-O's gone back to his awesome lighting with his half draped black curtain. Is it like that is a black, that is almost like that's a midnight black.
Good. I'm glad.
It's
darker the better.
Like if you could picture the inside of a coffin, that's how I would imagine the black to be, literally dark.
Good.
Did you order extra black?
Yeah, I love black curtains because it gets so bright. Because I've got the sun.
They're blackout ones, right? The proper blackout ones. Yeah.
They're brilliant.
Cool. So Nick, thanks for coming on, man, the show. And would you like to just introduce yourself to the people tuning in and let us know what you're about, where we can find you, what's your kind of, your shtick at the game, and take it away, buddy.
Finally, what am I going to say? Nick, been playing for like forever, really, since at least 15 years probably now, isn't it?
Mm.
And I do a few videos on YouTube and hang out on Twitter. And I've had a few decent finishes in the past, a long time ago. And now I'm basically just playing for fun and enjoying the season. So trying not to take it too seriously.
When Nick says a few decent finishes, we're talking in game week. Well, sorry, in the year 2010-11, 434th. Following season, 776th. The season after that, 2012-2013, Jace, 35th in the world. When you were on Nima's locked in FPL, and we were just saying just before we were listening in just a minute ago, and I know Booner's just here. Thank you for the very kind words from about Elite FPL, and I'll be listening into the rest of that later. But yeah, when you were going through your ranks, Nick, I generally didn't realise that they were that high up. That season, when you ended 35th, how, obviously, yeah, you were 35 places from winning it, but how genuinely close, if you can remember, were you thinking at the time that you genuinely could actually win it?
The funny thing was, if I was 35th, I was still about 100 points behind the leader, I think.
Oh,
It
wow.
was once you get up to that level, it kind of spreads out a bit. But it did in those days, so like less people, about 1 million people. And it spread out a bit. So I never really felt like I was going to win it. It was more about hanging on to where I was most of the time. It was kind of, I tried to win it. I did a few different things in that. But there was still quite a big point difference between me and the eventual winner.
Funny. What year was it? Sorry, Steve-O? And
2012, 2013.
So you're 35th in the world. So can you cast your mind back 2012, and can you remember what were you doing to gather information, obviously on each game week, and to help your like obviously now we have a saturation of content creators. We've got a lot of information from different platforms out there now. Mm-hmm. Some selling their information, some offering some of it for free. Obviously, you had the Fantasy Football Scout forums that were around back then. They were kind of like earlier days where less people were playing the game.
Well, Nick was one of the celebrities on there at the time.
Did you cast your mind back, Nick, to those days and explain, like, when you were 35th, when you finished 35th, how much time you spent in a week kind of like researching or analysing, and has things evolved for you, and are you playing the game differently now than what you were back then?
I didn't do a huge amount of research and stuff. I know that I used to follow the prices pretty religiously. I was always, just like I do now, I didn't like price drops or any of that type of thing. I used to spend a lot of time in what they called the dead zone on Fantasy Scout, which is when all you guys are going to bed, and I'm in New
That's
Zealand,
a nostalgia, yeah.
And I used to spend all day on there, like chatting to one or two people. A guy called Mitchu, I've seen.
Oh, yes,
I get on really well with.
Yeah.
And we just used to spend all evening chatting away about, because he was having a really good season as well, and it's just so enjoyable. You know, if you went on during the day, the pages would keep turning over every 10 minutes because so many people were on there. But at night time, it was really good. You could sit there and have a proper discussion on there. And I didn't really do any stats or anything. There was no stats I bothered with. I just used to watch the games and just pick the obvious fantasy assets, really. So not much different than now.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it sounds very almost like a non-stressful scenario where I remember when I was at one point in the top 100, casting my mind back to 2018 season when I was doing really well, and when I first started doing a show with Steve-O and Dan at the time. It was I felt the weight of the world kind of on my shoulders, and then obviously you kind of it spurs you on because you're doing so well. You think, hang on a minute, I need to put more effort into this now. Whereas, you know, getting myself there, I was pretty laid back and pretty casual, but at the time I found myself taking the game much more seriously. And so it was interesting to hear you say that you finished at 35th in the world, but you kind of didn't go hardcore. You kind of still went back to your principles of just essentially, you know, going onto the Scout website, just chatting with people. You weren't information overload. You just were you were checking the price rises, like you said. You weren't digging deep into the stats or anything like that, which is pretty interesting.
I'm a postie, and I used to spend most of my time when I was out on my bike thinking about FPL and stuff. And but I didn't really do stats or anything. But I know when you get up high, it is mentally quite tough because feels like you've got like a million people chasing you, and
you do, yeah.
One bad game week. I mean, I thought I had a chance of winning, and then somebody got sent off. I can't remember who it was, and cost me -4, I think. And I haven't forgotten that one, and that kind of put an end to any chance of actually winning it. But I know once I got in the top 100, I stayed there for a long time. I was kind of in the top 100 for half of the season, and like I said, the ranks kind of used to separate quite a bit at the top.
Do you think it's fair to say, Nick, do you think it's fair to say that back then there was the information and the discussions that were going around in the forums on social media was centered around more the hardcore enthusiast as opposed to a large casual crowd? Because I don't know about you, but what I see now in the large majority of content creators and, you know, websites that are tailor made to almost pick your team for you, I feel like it's moved in the direction of you don't have to think about fantasy football because all of your answers we will give you. And, you can use AI tools. You can do your transfer planning. Yes, there's great people out there like Ben Krellin that does great planners for people to actually analyze fixtures, work out their strategy for themselves. But equally, I would argue the large majority of people that are just on the social medias are generally just following as a sheep, and it's a lot. I guess what I'm saying is it's a lot more dumbed down, the information now, than what it used to be. And when I say what it used to be, I'm talking 2016, 2017, 2018, because I even looked at like Fantasy Football Scout, and there was a lot of familiar. It was always the same names I would see, and now it's just like it's just grown into an animal, which is massive now.
Well,
sorry for the long question. Sorry.
Back then, the casuals were at a massive disadvantage. I mean, just by discovering Fantasy Scout, you immediately gave yourself a huge edge over everybody else, really, because your average casual was just watching the games. They didn't have any content at all, did they? They couldn't go on YouTube and watch because it didn't even exist. There was like really no content for them at all, unless they discovered FISO or Fantasy Scout. Then they were just watching games and making their moves. They were much more casual than the casuals are now. And
bringing in the likes of Matic, for example, and defensive midfielders and
yeah, but
players
just bringing
their favourite
players
players.
from clubs they watched, and
Yeah.
but you had kind of the people on Scout were producing really interesting and thoughtful articles and that, and it was all written in those days, wasn't it? All the information was kind of written in articles, and there was quite a lot of thought went into them, and it was kind of, we were all learning together, weren't we, in those days? It felt like we were a community learning together. And now it's kind of all fragmented, and I don't know, it's not really so deep now in a way, is it? I mean, I know you've got all the stats and everything, but it's not a lot of thought goes into it, I think. It's just they latch on to easy things to make content about. Like this week it's all Haaland to Salah. Next week it'll be...
It's buzzwords, isn't it? It's buzzwords.
Yeah, it's just kind of
it's
quite
almost
shallow.
It's almost taken the form of what sport journalism has. It's all about the gossip, the rumours, in the buzzwords, where it's less about the facts, it's less about the raw discussion. And God forbid you may have a different opinion than the majority, and you just get looked at like, you're just like something at the bottom of someone's shoe. And it's like the amount of people that get angry, and I often say it, and we see it in our community as well. I mean, the people listening in, we love you so much, but I know there are people in our community that they will have a bad game week and they'll just throw the dummy at the pram, and ultimately you won't see them again for the rest of the season. There's so many times we've seen people come in, week out, and then suddenly their season starts, and then they just go, they disappear. And then likewise, we have people that do really well, and then we've been trying to get them, to come on, like they've been in the chat, come and talk about your team, talk about your team, and then eventually they'll have a good week, and then they'll come on the Sunday surgery, and they'll just like, yeah, this is what I've done, and it's like, people like to, certainly like to brag about their teams when it's doing well, but when the going gets tough in FPL is when it makes or breaks the true good FPL managers, in my opinion.
It's easier to make mistakes, I think, when you're doing badly,
oh, mate,
isn't
yeah.
it?
I'm having a shock over season, mate. I don't care.
Well, that's because it all. I mean, I've just sent you a message on X that you don't need to read it out loud, but you may want to read it. But the only reason why I think you're doing bad, Jason, I think TRIGGERLIPS just kind of sums up in a way in his video today, is that we're all just knee-jerking to the next premium because they did well the week before. So, for instance, you and I have both jumped onto Salah. Now, that was part of my plan anyway.
Hang on a minute.
Salah,
No.
But
no. Hang on a minute. My free hit was going to be bringing in Salah. I wanted Salah in ahead of what he did at the weekend. Anyway, and I was one of the few people on the free hit that was like, I want Salah. Oh no, you don't want to be bringing him in. No, I want Salah.
Yeah, agreed,
everyone in the chat. So I don't necessarily agree. I do agree. I've been knee jerky. And to be honest, I've not been patient at all with my team, but I've been kind of careless about my team selections. So if I was being methodical and careful, then I would be very reluctant to be taking more than a -4, like yourself, Steve. I mean, you won't jeopardize your rank for the sake of FOMO.
Well, although when Nick's video came out today and he was saying how people are jumping onto Salah, I was thinking, yeah, me. That'll be me getting rid of Foden. But it was already part of the plan. You can ask Ray. I've been discussing it on Patreons. I've been discussing it on every single stream this week. All I've done is just move the plan ahead. It's all written here in the little book that I've got. All this transfers, just everything is just being shifted along. And funny enough, again, they were talking about it, Boona and Nima and you Nick were the inspiration to me when you were discussing with Nima about the chasing price rises now. Do it in the early part of the season, even if it means taking hits. Obviously, don't sabotage your team, but certainly get onto the value now. And you've always been really good at this, Jace. You think about even the likes of Michael Keane that you brought in. He's risen up by he was 3.9 when you bought him, wasn't he? Or 4 million? Now he's 4.2, 4.3.
Yeah, I mean, it's no coincidence that the players I bring in are the popular players of the week. For example, they've done well. Michael Keane's obviously done well. He isn't going to keep up his form and get goals week in and week out. We all know that. But yeah, I've been lucky with a few price rises. I'm certainly, but then on the flip side, I've been looking at a few price rises, but because I've been doing all these transfers, I've been removing players that have built value in, and that's why I'm only 102.4 million in value, whereas like you're 102.8, I believe, or whatever.
No.
So,
I think
so yeah, I mean, Nick,
Go on, Nick.
what's your team value while we're talking about team value?
102.5, but for example, you've got to look at your sell value, really, haven't you? 102.5 isn't real because when you sell players.
Yes.
But mine's higher than it looks because I only just bought Haaland in 2 weeks ago, so I paid 15.4 for him.
Oh, okay.
So I've got no value built up, so I get 15.4 when I sell him.
Yes.
Whereas other people, when they sell him, are only going to get 15.2, aren't they, or 15.1?
Yeah.
So my team value is better than it looks. I've been deliberately trying to build up team value, and like this week, I made my transfer on the Sunday just to take out my toner because his price was going to drop.
If someone wants to clip this bit, please do. Nick, can you please? I've sent the team and team screenshots, Jace, but don't look at it. I just want Nick to tell you what his transfer was because I'm going to even go and ninja myself.
I won't.
Nick, can you please reveal what player you took out and which player you then brought in?
Oh, I took out Mitoma on Sunday night. I wasn't happy with his play against Wolves. I kept him for the Wolves game. A lot of people sold him 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I kept him for the Wolves game. Didn't like what I saw. And the only reason I kept him was his price wasn't falling, so I was quite happy to leave him on the bench. But this week his price was going to drop. So I took him out on Sunday and I brought in Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes.
Sounds crazy. I brought Fernandes in, and that was before the manager got sacked. I knew he was going to get sacked, though, so I thought.
I mean, new manager bounce at United has been mentioned in the chat. Exactly. I will say hello to people in the chat in a moment, but I mean, it's going to be interesting. Portuguese manager Bruno Fernandes.
Exactly.
Are we going to see something at the weekend? A bit of a bounce. I wouldn't be surprised, but I mean, yeah, that's a big differential, Nick. I like it.
I was so keen to get him in after everyone had like 9 blanks for him. I felt once they brought him at the start of the season, they paid 8.5 and they've had like 7 or 8 blanks. I thought it'd be so nice to get him in for 8.2 just in time for when his blanks finish and he starts getting points because
I mean, Amarim will not be managing on Sunday, says Taylor in the chat. No, but it's not necessarily the fact he'll be on the touchline. It's the fact Ten Hag has gone and they've announced the replacement in Amarim. So the fact that the bounce will still exist because of even though it's not physically on the pitch, it's actually happened within the club. Does that make sense? So I do feel that we are going to see a slightly, or hopefully, a radically different United.
Let's look at our real life jobs. I do like looking at real life jobs, and I think I can't name anybody obviously here, but there's a couple of people on our department who there's rumours that they're thinking of leaving. One of them specifically, if this individual leaves, I'm telling you now, even if this person wasn't replaced, all the team are going to be like, I can just get on with my job without having I mean, funny enough, when I was listening to Nick's video today, all it was constantly on the radio, Steve-O receiving, Steve, just shut the fuck up and just let me listen to this bloody video while I'm sweeping up the leaves. And then what do you want? We're just wondering if you're on site. Of course I'm on fucking site. Where do you think I've gone? To Manchester. You've told me to sweep up the leaves. It's just round the corner. And it's just things like that where when this individual goes, if this person goes, it's just going to be like, I can now just get on with my job. I can listen into TRIGGERLIPS. I can listen into FPL and just enjoy it without this constant on the walkie-talkie. And I think that's probably what you two are getting at regarding this game against Chelsea, because I can see it being quite tight, 1-1, 2-1 either way, something like that. And I think people like Rashford, even though Garnacho's played really well, but even the likes of Garnacho, even Fernandes, they may actually finally start performing on Sunday. And people like Mark Goldbridge, even people like yourself, Jason, are going to be like, where was this performance last week? Where was this performance against whoever it was? It's going to be really frustrating for you Man United fans, and you're going to be questioning next after this Chelsea game and moving forward if you get some decent results. You're going to be saying, was it Ten Hag the problem? Was it the players a problem? Or was it both?
Mate, like I've said weeks and weeks and weeks ago, you cannot sum up the fiasco, which I would call a good word, that Man United has been since, of course, David Moyes took charge. You cannot sum it up purely on one issue alone. You've got egos in the dressing room, which are inflated beyond anything that is in comparison in the Premier League. You got a wage bill for players that are playing like Sunday League footballers, and you've had the Glazers for a long time, and the board and those within the management making idiotic decisions. You've got the infrastructure of the club is falling apart. The training ground, the stadium, the academy. God, I mean, even the scouting network is a shadow of what it used to be. So yes, there's lots of things that are accumulating to cause problems and rifts between certain individuals in the club. But don't forget, it only takes a certain amount it only takes one or two players in the dressing room to start causing a toxic environment for the whole of the team to start to suffer. And I do feel that there has been rifts in the changing rooms, disagreements with the manager, quite open and in front, for the media to see, in the likes of Ronaldo, some behind the scenes. I do think Rashford has an issue in the club. Will it be solved now that Ten Hag's gone? I do not know. But what I will say is that at least they are making decisive action. They've got rid of Ten Hag very quickly. They've appointed someone in. He's bringing a few of his coaches as well, which I like to see. I do not want to see us relying on the same backroom staff, and certainly our medical team has a lot to answer for. We've got one of the worst medical records, and also players getting injured whilst being injured, which is like, what the hell? But no, I think some people, and many, will be rightly saying, oh, here we go again, same old manager rotation, start from scratch again, rebuild, back to the drawing board. But at the end of the day, you can't sack players as easily as you can sack managers. And
well, do you want to just to interject? Do you want to hear tonight's lineup? You're against Leicester. I can tell you.
Yeah, shoot.
So apart from the goalkeeper, your team is basically full strength. You got Dalot, De Ligt, Lindelof, and Martinez, Ugarte, Casemiro, and then the front four, as you'd expect: Rashford, Fernandes, Garnacho, and Xerxes. So tonight, Nick, could be a very interesting, almost scout for you to see how Fernandes does.
This is where I get punished for my early transfer when he gets injured.
I hope so.
I've got away with it for so long. I can't remember the last time I made an early transfer and then had an injury. It's been a long time since it happened, but I must be due for one.
Well, Man United
kind of added risk.
Man United have got 4 home fixtures in the next, well, literally in the next 4 games, including cup games. So it's Leicester tonight, then it's Chelsea, then it's PAOK, Thesla, whatever they're bloody called, and then Leicester again. And then they've got, this is the reason why you brought these Manchester United assets, and I'm telling you now, I'm looking at doing it myself, Jason, from the Leicester fixture. So we then got Leicester, Ipswich, Everton. Those 3 fixtures, I'm not looking at it from an attacking perspective. Maybe Garnacho if I can fit him in for Rodgers. I'm looking at it from a defensive asset. I'm looking at potentially Mazrari if he comes in. I want Delip, but he's too expensive to go to. But Martinez, as someone who could just tick
I
along,
was
gets the
looking
odd
at
yellow
him.
card here or there, but he's going to play no matter what for Man United. And
He's
then
only
looking at
4.3, isn't he?
4.4, yeah, he's 4.4.
4.4.
Dropped down the other day, and I thought, that's interesting because the day before I was speaking about Man United assets on the Patreon, and then the following day Martinez goes down in price. So certainly, I'm looking at future transfers with the Man United assets and looking at which is the best attacking option. Now, obviously, Fernandez is probably. I mean, Jason, you're the Man United fan. Which attacking asset do you think is probably most likely to get the best returns under the new manager?
Attacking asset. Honestly, Garnacho.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Nick, you've wasted your transfer, mate.
Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, Bruno
I'm not
Fernandes.
sure about.
Bruno Fernandes will be linking it. Obviously, I do think Garnacho is an absolute quality talent in the club. I think he retains a place in there. I mean, again, there's people who want Ahmad, and certainly there's question marks over Rashford and whether he be playing and starting. But on form, you can't deny the form. Like for me, the fact is that we've not been scoring many goals, and we've been doing a lot with a lot of output has come through Garnacho, and why wouldn't it continue? And why wouldn't it be something that would be encouraged to continue? I don't know. I mean, I would love to say, other than Haaland. Oh my God. Other than Bruno, I would love to say Højlund would start now to step up and get more service. But again,
He's not starting tonight, is he?
I am being very cautious because I have been very premature in getting excited with Man United appointments and managers, and I'm very much now like, okay, I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to jump on any Man United players like I have in the past. I'm just going to wait and see.
Nick,
I think Fernandes is the safest one, isn't he, to jump?
How much is he?
8.2 now.
8.2
quite a bit
for
more
Bruno
than
Fernandes.
Garnacho.
If we start to see a resurgence, that's the big if.
I'll tell you
could
what,
be
though,
an absolute steal.
It's only going to take a goal against one of these teams, and it's going to be a massive bandwagon
tonight.
Everyone would jump on him. He's only got 6% ownership now, and with all the big United fan base, that's going to go massive. He could go from 6% to like 20-30% in no time.
Well, if he does well tonight, I know it's a cup fixture. If he does well tonight, like you've just mentioned, their fan base are going to be like, hold on a minute here. Man United have just beaten Leicester 4-1. Fernandes has just got a goal, 2 assists. Garnacho's got a goal. Rashford's got a goal. They look like a completely different team. Okay, I know it's Chelsea, but like you say, these Man United fans that play FPL, they're just going to look at that and go, you know what, bring him in.
And no matter if he scores against Chelsea, then every single content creator is going to have Fernandes as a headline, and you must bring Fernandes in. Do you know what I mean? They're just waiting for it, and then it'll just go ballistic, especially with Ipswich and Leicester. So hopefully it happens.
Jason?
Sorry, what was this?
Well, as we're just saying about the fact that if Fernandes does really well tonight, and then against Chelsea, specifically against Chelsea, if he controls the game and gets an attacking return, he could be the next big bandwagon coming through.
He could be the next big bandwagon, but I think a lot of people, I think the majority of people are on the side of caution with Fernandes, certainly with Man United assets, purely because of being burnt previously. And the fact of the matter is that there are much more desirable midfield options at present. Like the looks of Foden, likes of Mbeumo, and others where obviously, maybe for some to stretch to Bruno isn't as easy as having a cheaper like a Rodgers, in your midfield. Certainly, if you've gone with Salah, Palmer, or looking to go with Salah and Palmer and Saka, that would be an interesting one of fitting them all in,
You say
along
this,
with
you
Haaland.
say all this though, but the FPL community is so fickle, and it would just
They
take
are,
a
mate.
goal against Chelsea.
One content creator. It would just take one content
Every
creator.
single content creator would be headlining Fernandes next week with those.
Yeah, if one of the big
and it would
ones
just go off.
Yeah,
They
if one
all
of the
would.
big
and then what's going to happen? Because none of them can afford him. So what's going to happen is Salah are blank this week, and suddenly everybody's going Salah to Fernandes. That's the way it works. Or someone else.
The thing is, for me, like the content creators that are some of the biggest ones that we all know, and we all see them doing very well. They're very cautious with who they recommend and bringing in, because they get one hell of a backlash when they suggest something and it doesn't pay off. Oh my God, the hate and the toxicity that I've seen them have to deal with from their own community when they try to recommend or suggest something slightly different and a bit of a risk and it doesn't pay off. It's like, I mean, all it would take, like you said, Bruno Fernandes get an attacking return, Man United looking like they're looking lively, and all of a sudden you've got one of the big content creators going, I'm jumping on Bruno Fernandes. Boom, bandwagon straight away. Absolutely agree with you.
There's going to be a lot of yellow cards on Saturday.
Well, yeah.
Chelsea every week you're getting like 6 or 7 cards anyway, and it's just going to be such a massive atmosphere, and the referee's going to have to be careful. Otherwise, there's going to be people getting sent off, I think, otherwise. Hopefully. So they're going to be trying 150%, aren't they? They're going to be... the aggression's going to be up and tackles flying in everywhere.
Yeah.
I see Nima's here. Hello, Nima. I was just saying to Boone, I was really enjoying your chat with him.
Let's give some shout outs to the people watching. I've not done that. So I'll go back. We've got Alf FPL in the chat as well. We've got Cole.
Alf, hello.
We've got Taste of Chaos. We've got Kevy. Carl Howlett. I'm just going to go straight up to the top. We've got Bobby Whitby in the chat. We've got Animations. Boona was there earlier on. I don't know if he's still here now. Say hello, Boona. We've got Harbour Boy here. Early morning for him. Shout out to the people over in the all the way over there in the Oceania part of the world. We've got Shigeru here too. Michael Svedin's here. Wolfie was here earlier. Sparta was here. Andy's Kitchen Garden was here really early. Shout out to you if you stuck around. And I am aware that we do have a slight static on Nick's microphone, but I can live with it. So I'm sure you can live with it. It's not the end of the world, mate. It's just one of those things. So yeah, just it was mentioned earlier on. So just don't worry about that too much. We've got Ray Qureshi in the chat. We've got Natasha's in the chat. Good evening. Good evening, Shax. Good evening, Denver. Good evening. Good morning. Good night. Scotty D in the chat. Squidward. Podner's there too. Right. So yeah, lots of awesome people here. Madeline Tudor, a name that we quite often read out.
Well, I wonder why that is. He's doing very well in the YouTube chat league. And talking to YouTube, Jace, what should people be doing right now?
What should you be doing? You should be liking the stream and hitting the subscribe button if you are. Not if you're new, because there's a lot of people that just watch us and don't subscribe. It's weird. It's like 70% of viewers of this channel don't actually have a subscription to the channel. It's kind of mad. So yes, subscribe. It does help us out. It does push us up in the algorithm. It gets new eyes on the channel. It gets more people in the community. So it really does help us. Consider joining our Patreon as well. Steve puts a lot of time, effort into that. You get to hear everything from an FPL point of view to real life points of view. At Elite FPL, guys, on social media, at Elite FPL, in Discord, so discord.gg/Elite FPL. Okay, so let me have a look at
That's such a professional job there, Jace. That was probably the best I've ever heard you do regarding advertising stuff. But you forgot one thing, which is X. If anybody's watching us on X or listening in, what should they be doing? Well, I'll tell you, they should be jumping over, making sure they're hitting the subscribe button.
All of the above, I'm sure. But yes, absolutely.
We are an independent content creator. I've stolen that from Nick. They're the best ones, Nick.
An independent content. Yeah, absolutely. We do this out of the love and the spirit of the game.
Well, in all seriousness, going back to the Fantasy Football Scout chat and what you were saying in the dead, I mean, that brought back nostalgia for me. The reality is, Nick, is that I think that Fantasy Football Scout back in we're talking, if I had the 2010 eras up to about maybe 2014ish, something like that. That for me was kind of its peak kind of time where, like you say, people were just discovering these particular websites. The internet was slowly becoming this major thing where people are getting it on their phones and are able to get potentially even apps for these, not necessarily Scout because they've only just released their app, but certainly websites were clocking onto the fact the internet is becoming this big thing. But with FF Scout, certainly what you were saying there, it was more of a conversation around football and just having a chat about football than it was like it is today, really, where it's essentially tell me what to do and there's no real discussion about why people should do anything. And certainly I think you seem to be, based on what I listened to all your videos, that you're more of an eye test man than you are the statistics side of things.
It was the golden age of FPL in my mind. It was because like I said before, we were all there learning together, weren't we? And it was actually like a proper community, whereas now it's just like dog eat dog.
Commercialized a lot more now.
It's commercialized. That's the problem with a lot of it.
I think whenever you see
we all know
people
how to play it now as well.
Say again, sorry, Nick.
Well, we all know how to play it now as well, so we don't have those kind of in-depth strategy.
Well, I think
anymore,
if they were to mix up the chips a little bit more, like I know they've got the mystery one now, but if they were to mix the chips up a little bit more than what they have, it might provoke some more discussion on strategy and ideas. Because let's face it, it has stagnated the game, hasn't it, in terms of creativity.
I think that's why they started that new game app to try and gauge ideas, for chips I mean, that challenge game they've got where you have a different sort of thing every week. They're kind of testing the water, I think, for the main game, aren't they?
Well, I think it's a good thing
because we didn't even have chips, did we?
I think it's a good thing because you've got to remember, it's quite obvious. FPL generally is about luck, and FPL generally is about real life consequences of players, how they perform, right? We all know that. And of course, you can make informed decisions on who to bring in and make sure you've got the optimal team. However, it is based on luck. We all have to agree. And of course, if you do take time and effort and bring in the right, the players that pass the eye test, the players that have been performing well, yes, you have got a better degree of capturing that luck. However, one thing that you do control is how and when you play your chips to use them to your advantage. So having that being shook up and having new and interesting ideas in the chips will promote, more discussion about the actual game and strategies, and also maybe bring that life back into the game that you were referring to from yesteryear.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely needed something. I think it's changed to the increasing the transfers is a positive change.
Yeah.
And some of the chips we've got at the moment, I mean, they actually increase luck. The triple captain chip probably increases luck more than diminishes luck because it's pretty random, isn't it, really? Although you've got, you can wait till a double game week, which is what I'm doing. But, the other ones are pretty decent, I think. But we could do with a few more introduced that change a few things every now and then.
Just quickly, Denver saying here, I've been waiting a long time to see Trigger on Elite. Well, Nick was on a couple of seasons ago. I mean, I keep saying this, a lot of these guests, it's down to me, really.
I've been on a few times, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just down to me, my laziness of getting people on and certain periods of my life where I just cannot be bothered to be doing any of this, blah 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 blah. But no, Nick's been like a genuinely like quite a supporter of the channel, which is great. And Where was it here? Shag Air saying triple captain is the worst chip in the game. I know when you talking about that, Jace, on Sunday surgery. I'm sure you were.
Yeah, I mean, the triple captain has served lots of FPL managers the least amount of points, certainly in recent history, with people choosing to use it in the double game weeks or sometimes even triple game weeks where players have not featured or have low scored. And there's been obviously fails that have been, come out where people have got like 1.2 points for their triple captain. So yes, it has. I mean, if you're going to use a triple captain and you want to get them absolutely the most out of it, you have to triple captain a differential. Like,
I remember one year I got 120 points from it.
Yeah. I mean, but that, and I think you would agree, Nick. That is extremely. Was that Suarez?
I can't remember now. I think someone got 40 points in the double.
I think it was Suarez. I think it was Luis Suarez.
120 points.
Yes, it was Luis Suarez.
120 points. Yeah.
Because
so it can be. You know what I mean? Like people are using it and getting 6 points and saying, "Oh, that's all right." It's meaningless.
The chances of getting that is in the single digits, though, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean,
it's not likely, but it's possible. You know, Palmer on a double game week. I'd be rubbing my hands.
Well, but I think what was Shigeru was getting at is like over the vast amount of game weeks and people playing their triple captains. Statistically, it's not actually been a chip that's gained too much of an advantage for players over such a thing as like a bench boost on a double game week, or a well-timed free hit on a double game week or even a blank game week where rivals have maybe not got a free hit, or they've just completely missed the fact that players aren't playing, and they use it to their advantage and stock up on the blank game week players for that week. But again, it comes down to planning, preparation, and understanding the game, as opposed to being completely casual and just being like, oh, I'll just make one transfer every week because I like that player and he plays for my favorite club, and not actually doing it from an actual FPL point of view. So yeah, I'm actually going to bring Nick's team up on the screen because I haven't yet done it. I think you've posted it in the Discord. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got it there. Yeah. It's in the team screenshots. Yeah.
Okay, give me a moment. I've resized Discord, which is great.
While Jason's doing that, do you want to just read the team out, Nick?
What is it?
Flecking in goal. I can give you that one for free. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Hang on, I'll go and look at that screenshot I sent.
How can you not know your team?
Is it up on the screen now? Have you got it up on the screen?
I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to say it, if you know what I mean. I was like, how can you not know your team? It's because he's got 50 teams, Steve-O.
Yeah.
Because that's something which has been... I've seen that on social media where, like...
Yeah, which one?
Somebody... Listen, I don't follow much social media in terms of FPL, but I'm sure I read the other day that someone had tracked that someone in the top 50 overall rank who plays the game has got, like, 6 or 7 teams in the top...
Yeah,
in the top 500.
But Nick, tell us that hilarious story about, what was it, Dunk, Winks, and someone else. I can't remember bloody now. But tell us that story about the copying.
Oh, about at the start of the season, I went on to the Analytic 64 League, I think it was, wasn't it? And I saw that.
Oh, the Elite 64, is that right?
No, not the Elite 64, the Analytic Elite 64.
Okay,
a similar type thing for all the ones that follow FPL Review, I think. And so many teams were like completely identical, and nearly every team had Dunk, Conser, Winks on the bench. So
that's the line.
Yeah,
it's mental.
They've kind of varied a bit now, but even up until they all played the same kind of game week 6 World Cup, but The teams are gradually differentiating.
There was a recent video you did. I can't for the life of me think who it was. I'm sure it must have been Big Man Baker and Late Riser or something. And they had 2 identical teams. Is that right? Was that you?
Yeah, I think that was Bakar and Andy from
Right.
Andy.
What do you put this down to? Do you just think it's just coincidence, or do you genuinely think that they're being persuaded by the websites that they use?
Well, they all use FPL Review, and I think in the last hour before the deadline, FPL Review updates its algorithm
Okay.
for the subscribers, because non-subscribers can't see the last hour, locks them out. So this is why they all wait late to make their transfers. They're waiting to see what FPL Review's recommending. A lot of the time, they're just following the recommendations from FPL Review. Plus, they're in their WhatsApp groups or whatever, like discussing these changes. So it's quite natural that they're going to gravitate towards the same players, I guess, isn't it? If that's what they're using to make most of their decisions. I mean, that's why a lot of them started with Fernandez, because FPL Review is really, really high up on Eze and Fernandez. So those two appeared in a lot of their teams.
It's going to take a moment just to go through this team again for those people that are tuning in just now or listening in on audio form. We have Flecken in goal against Fulham, who I suspect will probably do well because I own Raul Jimenez, who's not going to do anything. So you might get.
It's not even that.
It's a very template team myself. My own team now has gone very template. It was quite differential a couple of weeks ago.
Template with Bruno Fernandes. And Johnson, I wouldn't say Johnson is not template. Solanke, I wouldn't.
I suppose Pau Torres isn't.
No, I mean there are. I mean again, Solanke and Johnson 2 weeks ago were being discussed heavily. I think less so now. But again, I mean your team has a mix. It's like 50% template, 50%. Oh my God, I'm just going to shoot for the stars. And, you know...
Palmer's the main differential, I guess. He's not quite as differential now, though, is he? But I bought him in after what's his ownership? I got all his points, which was good. I'm not sure.
That is nice. Palmer's ownership. You want to guess, guys? Anyone? Anyone want to guess?
32%.
You are completely wrong. Palmer is Salah-esque.
Oh, he's dropped
55.4.
Is he? So he's actually my least template player.
55.4. He's actually owned more than Salah, who's on 40.
This is why the casuals are beating all the...
This is it.
Because
the
likes have all got Palmer, you see.
So, do you want to know a surprise? Saka. Do anyone have a guess at what his ownership is?
20%.
23%. Phil Foden, massive differential still, remaining at 8.2%. And Bremo, this is a big one. And Bremo, come on. He has been named and shamed on most content creator streams. What's your thoughts on that?
40?
I'll go 20.
Oh, Steve-O has it. 37.8. That's massive.
I don't pay attention to it.
More people own Bremo than own Saka, which makes sense due to the price points, of course. But
it's like Nick said, though, the fanships of these teams, once they see a player's not, like Saka, he's not on my team, get him gone.
I've got a surprise for you. Raul Jimenez.
10%.
Yeah,
no, less.
Yeah.
8%.
Steve-O?
I don't think he's going to be that high. I reckon, about 9%.
So you were right, TRIGGERLIPS. You were right immediately at 10%. He's 10.2% owned.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, this might surprise you because it surprises me. Rico Lewis, the cheapie.
I don't think it's going to be that high.
I think it's going to be low. 15%.
No, I think it's in the 20s, 25-ish.
I think it's only Twitter that bought him.
Well, you've got. I mean, let me remind you. 6 points in game week 1, 2 in 2, 6 points in 3, 1 in 4. Didn't play 5. 2 in 6. 4 points in game week 7. 2 in 8, and 6 points in game week 9. So he's playing for City. He's only missed 1 game. He is 4.7. Is that? Oh, he's 4.8 now.
He must have a lot of owners then.
What was your final decision on the team selected by?
Mine was 15.
15 is Stevo?
About 25.
Nick, you've got it again, mate. 15.6%.
Okay.
Well done. Of course, Gvardiol.
He's a Twitter pick.
Yeah.
The sensible casuals have all got Guardiol.
Gvardiol's 30%, yeah.
That's the reason none of the people on Twitter have got him, because they've all got Lewis, so they've ignored... I should have got him in myself. I dropped down to out Nori.
Yeah.
I could have gone Guardiol last week when I took Robertson out.
Well, I could have got...
Would have got 9 points straight away.
Yeah, I was either going to do a Saliba to Vardiol for free, or do Foden and 8 Nuri, I think it was, in for a -4. And I thought I want to attack that Southampton fixture at home. Really think that it could be a high scoring game. And obviously it ended up the way it did. And of course, Vardiol coming through with 2 bonus points, I believe it was. And
I was pretty scared not having Foden. I can see why you went Foden.
Oh, well, I've got him gone now. I mean, like I said, I got him gone immediately. I'd rather have a guaranteed 90-minute player in a player like Salah than having someone like Foden who's just hit or miss every single bloody week. And don't get me wrong, I'll be putting 50p on him to score or assist any time against Bournemouth. But certainly, I'd rather have Salah ahead of Foden. And yeah, certainly with your team, Nick, with Flecken in goal, I think I have to say, Jace, I mean, even though the history, there's a lot of 3s, and I mean a lot of 3s in that game, i.e. 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-0. This season, Brentford away from home aren't too shabby, and Flecken does seem to do, well, Brentford defensively, and more specifically Flecken from a save point of view. I think it's not going to be too bad. I've got that as quite a low scoring, like a 1-1, 2-1 Fulham, something like that. And yeah, I think that for you, Nick, playing Robinson over, well, the likes of, like you said, Torres and Harwood Bellis, I'll be honest, I'd rather play Harwood Bellis over Robinson, personally.
I think Robinson's got a good chance of attacking points, though, against Brentford.
Yes, that is very... It's slowed up a bit, though, hasn't it, with Robinson?
Harwood Bellis has been scoring a lot of goals, hasn't he? He got another one in the League Cup yesterday.
Well, he was at Burnley in the Championship winning season, and he was bloody brilliant. I mean, I can't profess to know exactly how many numbers of goals he scored for us, probably only 2, but I do remember him doing extremely well for us in the Championship, and it was very, very annoying that he didn't actually continue staying with us in the Premier League. For some reason, we didn't want to pay the release clause, which was just absolutely ludicrous. But at home to Southampton, to me, that sounds like a 0-0 written all over it. Whereas
home to Everton, you mean?
At home to Everton, sorry, yeah. And Robinson, despite, like you just stated, being a very, very good attacking threat for Fulham. And again, yes, you are right, he could get an attack in return. It has slowed up a bit for Robinson. I'm sure it has. I'm probably completely wrong here, but yeah, the last 3...
He was on for a
in fact,
point last week.
The last time he got anything was a 7-pointer against Nottingham Forest. Since then, a 1, a 2. Admittedly, they've been against Man City, Aston Villa.
He was like 1 minute away from 7 points last weekend, wasn't he? That's that prick tail Bal Torres. He was the same. 96th minute he conceded, Villa conceded, so I wiped my clean sheet out there. So I had 2 of them last week. Yeah, Robinson's good, I think.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it is pretty much just a toss-up. I mean, I would rather it's like Nima was talking about in Boone on the thing about having a late game player. And it's always nice having a lot of players at the end of the weekend. I mean, Jason, you've got 3 for Fulham Brentford. You've got Jimenez. Did you bring in Visser in the end?
I did. My team I was actually going to get to this later on when we're talking about our teams.
Yeah, you've got Jimenez, Visser, and
My team this
Burma.
week, I am genuinely the most excited so far this season in the team I've got this week. So you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. It's going to be like 25 points.
I love this stat from Rob Jones. Last time Brentford kept a clean sheet was last season against Fulham. I don't see it this time around. I think Fulham. I think they're going to beat Brentford, but it will be a tight game. But no, I think that the upcoming game week for Fulham versus Brentford, there will be a lot of us with at least a minimum of 2 players in that game. The popular one being Burma. But Nick, you've got 3 in Flecken, Robinson, and Burma. So you're going to be hoping that Flecken comes through with a load of safe ones, because I agree that having Verbruggen on the bench versus Liverpool is obviously the best strategy. Are you a bit gutted that you haven't gone with just one playing goalkeeper and just have a 4 million on the bench in Fabianski?
Me?
Yes, you. Yeah.
I've got 2 playing goalkeepers.
That's right. Yeah. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have a playing one? And
I've got Flecken. I'm very happy I've got the other one, but the trouble is he's got bad fixtures at the moment. Otherwise, Flecken would be permanently on my bench. So I'm sick of Flecken. But I was actually thinking of getting Fabianski because I'm 1.1 short of going DCL to Cunha next week, and I was thinking of taking Flecken and getting Fabian, because he's actually started last week, didn't he?
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's going to carry on or not.
I'm of this mindset again of chasing prices and even taking advantage of price falls, and it seems such a waste. But I can do Verbruggen and Dunk out for Trent Alexander-Arnold and Fabianski in game week 11, but Trent at home to Aston Villa, I don't really like that fixture at all. And like I say, wasting a transfer to get rid of a goalkeeper at the moment feels a waste. But if Fabianski starts against Forest, at this point, hold a minute here, we've got a playing goalkeeper at 4 million, and Fabianski is a decent keeper. I mean, he's the same age as me, for crying out loud. It's ridiculous. And he's going to be in a West Ham team who've got Everton in game week 11. And I think that their rotation with Brentford isn't too... I mean, I'm probably going to be completely wrong here, but their rotation probably with Brentford ain't going to be too bad. And certainly, so for instance, in game week 11, you could play Fabianski against Everton. In game week 12, you could play Flecken against Everton, and then you got Flecken at home to Leicester, while West Ham are at home to Arsenal, and then the following week Brentford are away at Aston Villa, and West Ham are away at Leicester, and then at home to Wolves. This is what, in all seriousness, this is what I like about these kind of discussions, is that you get to talk about strategies and transfers and fixtures and things that you wouldn't normally be looking at. And I think we're onto something here, Nick. Maybe Verbruggen down to Fabianski could be the one.
I was going to do Flecken to Fabianski, not Verbruggen.
What? Just of interest, why is that?
Because I don't like Flecken. I've had enough of him. There's 1 point every week.
I mean, that 11.
They can't defend. They're hopeless. Money Brighton aren't much better, but at least in Brighton's home games, I'd be more confident of a clean sheet for them.
Did you get Verbruggen's 11?
I also don't trust Fabianski, though. I mean, you can't make all those future rotation plans based on Fabianski, because we don't know if he's going to be.
Well, this is the thing. This is why
if he plays really well this weekend, I mean, there's be a good chance maybe, but.
Well, this is exactly it. You've got the Nottingham Forest away game. If he, in a 1-1 draw, comes away with, again, another 2 or 3 pointer. He's done really well in goal to keep the scoreline down to just 1. Why should the Patoglu, or whatever his bloody name is, go and sack him off for Everton at home? He's proven his worth.
He's obviously not happy with Areola, is he? So.
Well, this is exactly the thing. I mean, what is the reason as to why? In chat, if you can help us out here, do you have any reason why he's been dropped, Areola?
The manager did say he was a really good goalie, though, didn't he? Afterwards, sort of, he wasn't really clear on why he'd done it.
Well, Sugat is saying here that Brighton's fixtures change from game week 12, which is good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good fixtures. So I'm looking forward to using. He actually was on my bench over there and got 10 points. So this is a bit annoying.
So they've got from game week 13, Southampton, Fulham, Leicester, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Brentford. They're okay, but I think both Brighton and Brentford are, and I mean even West Ham, for crying out loud. In fact, you could probably apply any team apart from Arsenal and Liverpool are always going to concede a goal no matter what, and that's why I'm looking at
clean sheets anywhere.
Well, this is the thing. This is why I'm really interested in Man United, because Man United, I mean, Jace can confirm this. You have got some really, really, really good players in your defence. It's just for whatever reason you're conceding really sloppy goals and whatnot. But if they can get their act together,
midfield. It's a midfield.
Okay.
Simple as.
The
Digress.
scoring is their problem, not the defence.
So the defence, there's nothing wrong with the defence, in my opinion. Of course, there's been a few issues with Dalot recently, but then I just think for a lot of time it's been the midfield that's been at fault. And if you've got no substantive midfield, certainly dictating and controlling large parts of the game, then of course your defence is going to become exposed time and time after again against a decent opposition. And I think if we can sew up our midfield and get tight in midfield and get quicker to transition from defence to attack, and be able to dictate the flow of the game a bit better than what we have done, then of course I think that the defence will have an easier job to keep clean sheets. The amount of times I see the midfield not tracking back, not tracking runners, especially runners into the box, time and time again, I see runners not being tracked. And you think to yourself, obviously Casemiro's come under fire. Why has he come under fire? Because he's not been able to read the game as well as he used to. Certainly Bruno Fernandes, he's been pretty woeful in terms of, retaining the ball, picking out passes. So yeah, I think once our midfield gets properly sorted, and I do think it will, I certainly hope so under the new manager, that we'll start to see improvements in the United's defence. And of course, we've got some really good options there.
Well, just a quick score update on tonight's games in the EFL Cup.
Eze.
Well, yeah, Eze scored for Crystal Palace away at Aston Villa. Brighton are still 0-0 with Liverpool. We've got Man United. All the other games are 0-0. In fact, I'm going to just quickly look at the Chelsea lineup, just quickly. Palmer ain't
They've put their B team in.
Yeah. Well, their B team is still good enough to be the A team.
I think their B team would still be good enough to finish mid-table in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah.
Look at that team they've got; it's pretty good.
Yeah, we got Jorgensen in goal, Disassi, Ardabio, how do you pronounce that? Badiashile, Cucurella, Fernandez, Viega, Dewsbury Hall, Felix, Mudryk, and Nkunku up top. And whereas Newcastle, they seem to be playing quite a decent team. Anthony Gordon starts tonight along with Isaac and Joe Willock. Joe Linton starts, Longstaff, Tonali. It's quite a strong team from both, well, certainly from Newcastle's point of view. And they have to play that. And yeah, like we say, with Man United, I mean, for me, Jace, who are the defenders?
Man United just scored.
Oh, have they? Oh, they have.
Casemiro. You mentioned his name.
I just mentioned him. Yeah. Well, obviously it's a rude Van Nistelrooy bounce. No, Casemiro. Let me guess, it's a header from a corner or a set piece, because Casemiro is actually really threatening.
Right-footed shot from outside the box.
Is it really? No way.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. It's a whole new Casemiro. He's rolling back the years, ladies and gentlemen, rolling them back.
Next is 0.
Yeah.
XG 4.2.
Oh, is he breaking it for you, Steve-O?
Well, Garnacho got an assist, so you're.
Well,
doing
there we
better than
go,
mine
Jace.
so far.
What do you think, Jace, on the defence though in Dalot, Mazarari, Delit, and Martinez? Who are you? If you were putting them in order, where would you go?
What do you mean?
As in, what order would you rank those 4 to have in your fantasy team for a defensive?
What for?
Man
From
United
what for
defenders
most
below
desirable to okay. So out of all of them, for me, Mazarari's not playing, is he?
No.
Well, no, he's got an injury, but certainly when he comes back, I'd like to think.
Mazarari for me is a very, very good-looking attacking defensive asset for me. So I probably would put him up there as my top priority. Like Dalot starts to return to form and he starts playing better, then maybe he might be coming in. But Delit certainly. But yeah, I mean, for me, probably in order of Mazarari, Dalot if he returns to form, Delit, and then Martinez in that order.
Martinez.
Lewis is starting.
From a Martinez point of view, is he just too much of a card magnet? I mean, I know he is, but
yeah, I mean he is. But it's more so the fact that he's not going to be exactly headering in from the goal from. Whereas Delit has got more of a chance of scoring an attacking header than Martinez.
Yeah,
his qualities shine elsewhere, of course. So yeah, that's my answer.
I'm hoping over the next few weeks that Mazrari may drop down in price by 0.1, but I don't think because of the amount of Man United fans there are out there getting rid of these players. I mean, he's not. I mean, there he is. I mean, he is in the top 12 of players being sold at the moment. He's been sold by 75,000 at the moment. And Lewis Dunk is nowhere to be seen. Oh, no, there he is. He's right down towards the bottom there. 54,000 have sold him. And I'll tell you what, Jace, if I can get through this game week and Mazrari's fit, those fixtures for you lot could be a really nice differential to have. Like Nick said regarding with bringing in Fernandez for those 3, Leicester, Ipswich, Everton. Mazrari.
Again, proceed with caution on Man United. Let's just see what happens. It's early days, and it's early days.
Too late. You're too late if you wait.
Well, you're too late if you wait. But I'm for once actually holding restraint back because I unfortunately have been burnt many times.
Well, just quickly. You wanted to talk about your team, Jace, didn't you? You said that you wanted to talk about them before we just quickly go for our predictions of the game week.
Okay. 1 moment, I'll get it up on the screen. So this I know we need to kind of tie it up because I've got friends.
Family and friends, yeah. They'll be doing a surprise for you in a minute.
Yeah, they'll be like, "What? Lock him in the shed." Right, so my team is as follows: Raya in goal.
Sorry, Jace, just quickly. Apparently, Eze has gone off injured, potentially his hamstring.
Has he?
Oh my god!
Thank you, Shagger. There.
Oh dearie me!
You can't wish players to be injured, can you? But I love it when they go off.
Well, no one knows. No one owns him, do they? I mean,
well, no one's losing points.
A few
tonight.
people do, don't they? Not many owners, do they? A few might have brought him in because. He did score, didn't he, at the weekend? And
yes, he did.
Good fixtures now.
Oh, yeah, he
City,
did.
Rico Lewis is playing, and looks
what
like
is the City team?
B team. It's the B team, apart from Rico Lewis. Foden looks like he's a striker.
Oh, Foden's playing,
I
is
might be wrong.
Oh, that's
yeah,
not
he's
good,
only
then.
one. Him and Rico Lewis are playing.
Okay, so let's just quickly just discuss my team because I know we want to do the predictions as well. Because I need to get away at a good time here.
Yes.
As much as I am enjoying listening to you beautiful people talk about FPL. Right, Raya in goal, away at Newcastle. So I'm expecting saves, maybe a cheeky clean sheet there. I don't know. Gabriel, if he plays, there's again, there's a chance. There is a chance that he plays. I don't know what the latest news is for him. So Gabriel, again, I think there's a good. I think it's a good chance if he plays that Arsenal can keep a clean sheet in that fixture, even though they're away. Gvardiol away at Bournemouth, along with Lewis. I think Man City keep a clean sheet in that game, so I'm minimally hoping from 12 points from those two. Saka away at Newcastle, Foden away at Bournemouth, Palmer away at Man United. Salah at home to Brighton, and then Buemo away at Fulham. That is a midfield of Saka, Foden, Palmer, Salah, and Buemo.
Ridiculous.
And
It's
then
cost
I'd
me
have.
55 points, but ridiculous.
It's fine. I'll get it back today, tomorrow, or Saturday, I should say. God, I don't know what day of the week it is. Right, Raul up front with Visser. So we've got double Brentford attack on this week away at Fulham. Visser and Buemo, and of course on the opposite team we've got Raul Jimenez. On the bench we've got Aitnuri sitting there ready to come in if in the event of an unfortunate absence. The rest of my bench I will not refer to because they are wasted space.
I'd probably play Aitnuri over Gabriel.
Yeah, well, to have too much risk in Arsenal defence, you mean?
Well, even if they start, Newcastle are going to score against Arsenal.
Do you think that?
Yeah, I do. They're going to give them a tough game. Newcastle may not be that great, but we all thought that against Man City, and look what happened. They drew 1-1.
Let us know your thoughts, chat, in the comments if you're watching this back on the live chat. Gabriel, Aitnuri. Who would you start? Okay, so that's it. So let's go for predictions. Let's go for predictions. Newcastle. Okay. Kick off, Steve-O. Newcastle versus Arsenal is the midday lunchtime Saturday kick-off. It's on TNT Sports as per usual. What's your thoughts, Steve-O?
Just quickly for Diego, is Chris Wood genuinely injured? Nope, he's fine. Don't worry about it. What am I thinking about Newcastle versus Arsenal? Well, like I just said, they'll be making it very, very tough. The crowd. If Arsenal win this, it could be anything. 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. I have this sneaky suspicion, though, that Newcastle may do them. But I'm going to sit on the fence here, Jason. I'm going to go 1-1 with those two.
1-1. Okay. Nick, your thoughts on that fixture?
That's what I was going to say. I
stole your idea.
I'll go 2-1 to Newcastle.
Oh, wow.
That's because you said 1-1.
It is.
I don't fancy Arsenal, to be honest. Not there, going there. They're not themselves at the moment, are they?
That's what I'm thinking. I think they've just got enough, though, to hold Newcastle at bay, to not lose. But if Newcastle were to win, yeah, it's a very, very tough fixture for Arsenal, I think.
And Isaac's just scored.
Oh, has he?
He's starting to look like he's coming right back into form, Isaac. Remember, we all had him in our teams at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And he's hitting his form.
Yeah. Jace?
So I pick him to score against Arsenal.
Arsenal's win 2-0 is what I'm thinking on this one. 2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah.
We move on to Bournemouth versus Man City.
Hold on a minute. Can you, without looking, can you guess who scored for Aston Villa? It's obvious. Yeah, well done, Jace. And Arsenal have scored Gabriel Jesus.
Do you know what? Duran, how much is he in fantasy?
6 million.
Oh, he's going down. He's fell in price, didn't he?
He's 6.1 actually.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
What did he start as? Did he start at 6.5?
It's got to be 6.5. Yeah. It's got to be 6.5.
No, he started at 6.
Did he?
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Oh, did he go up?
I thought he's been falling.
Oh, yes, I don't
He
know.
can't have gone up, surely. How could he have gone up?
Oh my God, he was 6 million.
I'm pretty sure
and then
he
he's
did,
gone
yeah.
up to 6.2 and is down back down
He's never
6.1.
started a game.
Well,
No, but he's been.
It's the casuals again, isn't it?
It's the
They
four
hang on, there's
goals he
another
scored, isn't
injury
it? It's the four
match
goals he
coming
scored
up.
in game week 1 to 5. And then since game week 5, he's not scored a goal in the Premier League or got an assist. So it's Duran. Yeah. We move on. We move forward. We go to
Now, hold on a minute. It's now Newcastle 2-0. I don't know who scored, but it's now 2-0 to Newcastle, Jace. Wow.
Oh, shit. I just realised it was against Chelsea, wasn't that bugger? So much of a Chelsea B team.
Newcastle have
away.
scored, and Tonali got the assist for Isaac's first goal.
I think it's Isaac again. I think.
Is it Isaac again?
I think. It's not really updating on here, but it looks like it could be Isaac again.
Well. Manchester United have scored.
Again. Everyone's scored.
It's now 2-0.
Oh, it's an own goal. The Chelsea one's an own goal.
Oh, okay.
The Man United have scored, and I don't know who scored
Fernandes.
Is it?
Are you willing it?
Oh, I don't
Are you
know.
willing it
I'm
to be
willing-
Fernandes?
I'm willing it.
He's praying to the FPL gods.
Just need his confidence up.
Garnacho.
Well. Nick, you bought the wrong player.
It's going to be a Garnacho wagon.
Garnacho, for me, is the player that I would be bringing in.
It's interesting he's gaining owners, whereas Fernandes is losing owners.
Well, Fernandes has been
price.
I think Fernandes has yet to prove that he can return to anywhere near the form that he had, 2 or 3 seasons ago, and even that was declining. To be honest, I would say Garnacho is more of an easier move for a lot of managers than an 8.2 Fernandes.
It's more of a price point, I think.
It is, absolutely. Dalot with the assist. What did I just say? Could it be? Right. We move on. Can I actually move on to the next
Might be 4
fixture?
goals. Maybe they will get 4 goals.
Bournemouth versus Manchester City. Are they going to get spanked? Yes or no?
No.
Is it going to be 1-0 to Man City? 2-0 to Man City?
There's your answer. I think 2-0.
Apparently, Shax is saying, Garnacho, great finish. United look so different. I have to get it on.
Oh.
I need to watch this.
Well, let's quickly get through this then.
Come on. Right, well, come on.
So,
Bournemouth City.
where
Go on,
we
give me
are
your
now,
predictions.
I'm thinking it's going to be close. I'm captaining Haaland, but I'm not happy. I wish I didn't have him. But I think it's going to be 1 each.
No. You can't be saying you're captain and Haaland in a 1. No.
Well, I've got no choice. There's
mean,
no one
cap-
else I can captain.
Solanke against Villa.
I'm captaining him, but I'm not hopeful. I'd much rather have Salah and be captaining him. But I haven't got him. And,
Well, that's a question. If you're in mine and Jason's shoes, who've both got Haaland and Salah, would you be captain and Salah?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
What
But
channel is
it's
this
close,
Man
though,
United
isn't
game
it?
on? What channel is
I
the
mean,
Man
it could
United
go
game
either
on?
way.
I think Man City have the upper hand in this. I think that Bournemouth, as good a team as they are, and they'll make it difficult. I think this is the kind of game that Man City, like you're just saying here, is going to end up 1-1 a tie game, but Man City will end up winning 2 or 3-0. The history is in Man City's favour. Well, there's been a few close results, a couple of 2-1s. The last time he's played at Bournemouth was 1-0.
They haven't let him more than 1 goal this season at home so far, Bournemouth.
Yeah, and that's it. I
They
think
haven't played Man City, of course.
I've got it on Now TV. Man United. Right, brilliant.
so. Yeah, I'm going 2-0. We can hear that, Jace. But
Yeah, no, it's fine. Zexy, he's going on to. Oh, okay. Right. Sorry. I've got that on now. Right. So, what are you guys saying? Close games.
Yeah,
1 each I went 1 each.
I'm going 2-0.
That's ridiculous. I'm going to go 3-0 to Man City. Yeah, you heard it here. 3-0 to Man City. That is a good goal from Garnacho. I've just seen it back now. Ruud van Nistelrooy on the touchline. It's weird seeing Ruud van Nistelrooy on the touchline like that. Oh my god. Okay.
Hopefully they're not having their bounce now, and they won't have their bounce.
Oh god, they're playing. They are playing with a lot of like ganache. Is that the word? Ganache.
Ganesh. No, that's the god, isn't it? That's the god of whatever it is.
I'm sure ganache was a. And by the way, happy Diwali, anyone that celebrates it. Ganache, isn't that a term that I? No.
You're thinking of finesse.
Panache, I'm thinking of. I was thinking of panache, not ganache. Panache. Could be panache. Apparently, ganache is a notorious gangster. A wrestling move resembling a chop to the throat is a ganache. Did you know that? Can be used in a kneeling position or standing. To be ganashed. Panache. Is it panache? Playing with panache?
We could be here all night, Jace. You need to get going. So come on, let's just. As David Brent says,
ganache.
Come on,
ganache show. Right. Let's move on because we will be here all night. Sorry about this, Nick. We are trying to. We are. I don't want to ruin your.
That's because it's only 8 in the morning for you.
I've got nothing to do all day.
I see Nick with the sun beaming through his windows and thinking, yeah. Don't envy him a bit.
21 degrees today, so that'd be nice.
Lovely.
Oh, beautiful, man. Absolutely.
Might get out on the hammock soon.
On the veranda. Ipswich versus Leicester. Do you care about this? I don't. I'm going to go 0-0. Leicester City scored. Leicester City have scored.
3-2 to Leicester.
Well, they've just scored against Man United.
They've just scored. I've just seen it now.
Who scored?
Al something. Alchem.
Mavididi.
Al Mohammadi. I don't know. Who is it? What's his name? Oh, my football knowledge is lacking.
Oh, Jesus.
El
Canusos.
Canus. Never heard of him.
My internet's just gone on my phone. Great. I can't see anything now. It's amazing.
Here's a fight back, and Leicester beat
Al Canus, apparently, is his name. Al Canus has scored. Right, we move. So, what did you guys say about the fixture that shall not be named?
3-2 to Ipswich.
Theo?
I hope so, because I got Delap. I'm going to go with, I always call these championship matches, and I'm going to go with 1-1.
Okay. We then move on to the next fixture, which is, of course, Liverpool versus Brighton. Ooh. It's going to be, is it a big spanking? I think so. Salah 2 goals, Liverpool to win 2-0.
Funny that. Go on, Nick. What are you thinking if you don't own Salah?
Oh, gosh. 3-1.
Oh, I was going to say the same.
Salah 2 goals?
I'm a bit worried. But I think Brighton might tighten up.
Oh, United on the attack. Oh, Rashford.
Yeah, I think this is 3-1 myself. Yeah, I'm going 3-1 as well, Jason.
Oh, 3-1, 3-1 and 2-0. Cool. Nottingham Forest versus West Ham.
God. Nottingham Forest can never score apart from, certainly against teams like this, apart from Chris Wood, yeah. I'm going to go with another 1-1.
Oh, 1-1. Okay.
I'll go for 2-1 again. 2-1 to Forest.
To the home team, yeah. Southampton versus Everton. Ugh.
Fucking hell. Everton to win.
I'm glad these aren't being televised over here. God.
Everton to win. And I'm going to go with 2-0. 2-0, 2-1, 2-0.
Okie dokie. Yeah. Nick?
Everton to win 1-0. Calvert-Lewin goal.
Yeah, I hope not.
Better be.
So long as Delap gets a goal against Leicester, I'll be okay.
2-1 to Everton. I'm going to go with as well. Wolves versus Crystal Palace. Another. I mean, Saturday I might just go to sleep.
Oh, they've lost Eze, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think Ain't Nuri might score a hat trick in that. No, I'm not. I'm joking.
I suppose that's good for Norway, isn't it? As they being injured.
Well, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
still
still
not got
think
much
that
chance of a clean sheet, but it does improve her chances of a clean
Tottenham have
sheet.
scored against Man City. It's 1-0. Werner
Oh, good.
Lol.
Werner.
with the goal. Yeah.
You remember him, Werner? The guy that couldn't score for Chelsea.
In fact,
Do you reckon Nico Lewis starts at the weekend?
Yeah.
He'll be playing.
Yeah. Pep likes him.
Someone's
Spurs-
just scored. Fernandez has scored.
Oh, don't you just spoil it for me. Listen, I'm closer to you. I'm closer to the game geographically, but I'm watching it on Now TV, which is absolutely dog crap. And that's a free kick
Fernandez. Well, it
goal.
gives you a chance to look at it now, didn't it?
And thank you so much. You've now raised my.
There's a clip.
Ban TRIGGERLIPS, ladies and gentlemen. Moderators, ban him. He's giving me a spoiler. I'm watching it now. They're all giving him a. Do you know what? Fernandez scoring. They're all hugging him as well. Is that? Ooh, could it be the buzz he needs to turn his game around?
Scoring against Chelsea, really. I think they're gonna. Yeah, I'm very happy with that transfer.
Do you think? Do you know what? I've got a feeling, and I would love to know what your thoughts are. I've got a feeling this Man United Chelsea game could be a bit of a goal fest for both teams.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I know it will be.
High scoring both teams.
Well,
right, time to take another -4.
Chelsea don't sit back. It's going to be end to end.
God. It could be good for you, Ian. Fernandez pick. Yeah. Right, let's move on to Spurs versus Aston Villa on the Sunday.
Predict Wolves versus Crystal Palace. Come on, that's really important.
Yeah, you did.
I'm going to go with Wolves to win 2-0. They've got a better attacking threat.
I'll go 1-0. Now Mazza's out, probably.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, 1-0, 2-0.
1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 too. And then we move on to Spurs versus Aston Villa on the Sunday. Villa are going to win this. They're a better team. Villa are a better team. Geographically, they're the closest Premier League team to where I live. Do you know that?
Yes, you've told us on many, many occasions.
Doesn't mean anything, though. Don't support them. You know. Oh my God, United almost scored another.
Well, they got 3 goals in the first 40 minutes, so it could be.
Do you know what? This
Foden,
United team. Do you know what
Fernandez?
really pees me off? A United team that's not been able to score goals, and we've got 3 goals in the 40 minutes.
I told you, this is exactly what I said to you. If you
it's
score,
the players down tools under Ten Hag. Yes, we know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Spurs versus Aston Villa. Come on,
the League Cup though, so none of the blooming points count for FPL.
Nick.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick, do you want to go first on this one, mate? Spurs
Who are
versus
we
Aston
on
Villa.
now? 2-1 to Tottenham, and maybe 3-1 to Tottenham.
3-1. No.
Oh my God, it's been a goal by Casemiro.
What?
Another one. Oh, he has
4
too.
goals. Man United have scored. It's Casemiro.
What?
Oh my God. It just goes to show, doesn't it? Ten Hag was the reason the players were playing shit.
They are playing Leicester, Jace. A B team Leicester.
What are you on about? Leicester,
It's not a
they're
steam
a
team.
Premier League opposition. What are you on about?
It'd be interesting to see what happens in the transfer market because Fernandez was losing owners.
I love the fact that, yeah. I'll be interested now. You might be on.
Even though it's only the League Cup, it will influence people, I think, for this weekend.
Go on, Jace. Foden to Fernandez or Garnacho. Go on.
I'm not doing it, mate. Don't worry.
Do it. Captain.
If I take anyone out, it would be Bomo.
What?
So I've got Vista already. I don't need Bomo and Vista, do I? That's a good header, that is. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, it is a follow-up. It's a follow-up. It's a tap-in. Right, yeah, anyway. Spurs to beat Aston Villa 2-1. Nick, you're having a laugh.
3-1.
Aston Villa, opposite score. Opposite. I'm going to go 2-1 to Aston Villa on that one. Man United versus Chelsea. I'm going to go first because I want to. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. I'm going to say this is going to be a 3-2 to Man United.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth.
You took my words right out of my mouth.
Is that your... I'm going to go, yeah. I'm going to go end-to-end game. But I'm going to go a 2-2. Chelsea are quite good away from home this year. So, yeah, 2-2.
I'm not going to really get rid of him, Bravo. Don't worry, chat. Don't worry.
I'll go 2-2 as well, I think.
Oh, my God. United on the attack again. They're swarming forward. It's like prime Barcelona. Mind you, the opposition is I think they've got their
Oh
heads down
dear,
now.
Mr. Reed put Bruno in.
Did Leicester play a reserve
Oh my
side?
god. Oh, well, he's giving you a kiss of death now on that one.
Mr. Reed is a close friend of mine, Nick, and although he's doing actually very well this year, he's just brought Fernandez in, which is never
Isaac.
a good thing.
Oh,
Mo
no.
hit in the chat says Thornton Isaac going forward is a nice differential. Yeah, man. I mean, if you can stay fit, it's a great differential.
I see
Anyone
Leicester
wanna
picked
disagree?
a pretty weak team, didn't they?
Just Newcastle are terrible.
Newcastle,
Yeah,
I
Isaac.
think
I think Isaac's going to be a good pick.
I think Isaac will be a good pick, and I think Newcastle will grow into the season. I think they'll start doing well.
Once I get rid of Haaland, I'm thinking of having Jackson and Isaac in there. I'm not
Oh,
too keen on
that's
this.
Maverick,
Yeah.
thanks, mate.
I like that.
What did you think of Trigger? What did you say about the Man United Chelsea game?
2-2.
2 each.
And Steve-O?
He said
Nick's copying me here. 2-2.
Oh god, here we go. Fulham versus Brentford.
Oh yeah, I think Fulham are gonna nick this. I'm gonna go with I reckon this game's gonna be quite boring, and I'm gonna go with either 1-0 or I'll go 2-1 to Fulham.
I'll go 3-1 again to Fulham.
Who's scoring for him? God,
Everybody. Only when he takes a shot at Flecken.
Robinson's gonna get something.
There's been a
Yeah,
goal.
well,
There's been another goal.
What, United's game?
Oh no, hang on. No, there hasn't. I thought there had, but there hasn't.
You're
They all
watching the
They
game.
all started. Hang on, I'm just going to tell you what happened. The ball was played over, and the ball was kicked into the back. Oh no, it wasn't. Never mind. It looked like it went in, but it didn't go in. Sorry, it was nowhere near. It was
They've
nowhere
only
near.
got
going in.
they've only got an XG of 1, United. They've got 4 goals.
Well, I'm just, just want to say right now that that I am being messaged and pressured to come back into the house. So we need to wrap up. We need to get wrapping up now.
Well, the good news is that Liverpool and Brighton are still 0-0. Jesus Christ.
Right. So we've done all the fixtures, done all that. We've not missed everything, have we?
Yeah.
We haven't. Okay. We've covered your team, covered Triggerlips' team, covered my team. Okay. In that case, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the social media, and Saturday, Steve-O, what's the plan?
Yeah, so Saturday, if I can be joined by someone, it will be a Saturday night reaction. If not, it'll be just a quick half an hour.
Half an hour.
So yeah, Saturday night reaction will be happening on Saturday, obviously, at about 7:30ish, and then obviously we're back on Sunday for Sunday surgery.
Oh my God, United are absolutely dominating. Absolutely dominating. Garnacho
You're
again.
going to have to go and watch this game in a minute.
This is the best I've seen United play. Obviously, circumstances, a weakened Leicester team, a new manager. Well, I say new manager, but a new era beginning at United. Could be just a flash in the pan. So we've seen it before, flash in the pan. But what I will say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Subscribe to us on here. Follow us on social media. Jump into our Discord. Be involved. Hopefully join Steve on
Get involved with
Saturday night.
Triggerlips' videos as well.
Massive thank you to Triggerlips. Also, Nick, you are the star man tonight. Thank you for being here. And I hope that it doesn't rain. I hope it doesn't rain, mate.
It won't rain here, don't worry. I'll be out on that hammock soon.
You're just jabbing, you're just digging it in, mate.
I've just set it up for the summer, so
you deserve it, mate. You deserve it. And I hope you have a great FPL week, mate. I really do. Love to have you on the show again with us whenever you get the ability to do that and join you. Of course, we do support you as well. I know that a lot of viewers of yours are our viewers as well.
I think so. Yeah, it's similar.
Triggerlips is one of the OGs of the community, way well known. No real introductions needed, but of course, go over to his channel if you don't know about him, and you've been living under a rock. Go check him out on social media. Nick, what's your handle on?
I don't know.
It's Trigger Talks FPL.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Trigger
that's the
Talks
one on
FPL. You
YouTube.
changed, yeah, Trigger Talks
That's the
FPL. That's it.
YouTube channel.
There we go. Right, all the best, everybody. Take it easy. Look after yourself. Stay safe and enjoy football. And
Yeah.
I'll see you at the weekend. Bye now. Wait, you got to wave. You got to wave.
The wave,
There we
wave.
go. He's waving. He's waving.
Got more
He's waving.
fans. Got more fans.